What's going on there, YouTubers, gamers and hobbyists? And it's time for an episode of P&Q. That's right, it's Monday morning again already, and although I've recorded this prior to Monday, it always gets uploaded on a Monday. So, been quite a busy one, actually. This is the question and answer series where you can leave me questions or comments, and I'll respond the following week. It can be about anything, mostly wargaming related. You can do this one of two ways. You can pop your comment or question down below in the comments section for the following week. Or if you have a question, I don't know, you may feel embarrassed about asking or foolish, or you're just sneakily doing it at work or whatever, you will remain anonymous if you email me. I will leave the email address in the video description below. That's miniwarzone@gmail.com. And away we go. I'll start with emails because we've got two and several questions or comments. So let's get on with it. Okay, first one says, "Hi, I've been watching your P&Q series for a little while now, and you often say that this is the place to ask those questions that could be embarrassing to ask elsewhere. Since you seem like a reasonable fellow, I would like to take you up on this offer and ask you two questions, and I'd prefer it if I could remain anonymous for the time being." Absolutely. Question 1. On Citadel paints, what are the differences between the different types, i.e. base, layer, edge, etc.? Well, the Citadel paint range has got, like you say, it's got base, layer, edge, dry, technical, texture, shade, glaze, all those, and they're each designed for a specific purpose. So, for instance, the primer, you can get little hand pots of primer, is designed to cover the plastic of the miniature, ready for paint to adhere to. The base paint, that's got more pigments in than the others, so you'll find that they cover a lot easier, and you need to thin them down with whatever you prefer to do it with. Some people use water, you can get thinners, you can use mediums, whatever your preference may be. Dry paints are literally, they look like they've been left, the pot's been left open and they've dried up literally. So you dunk your brush in it, and you wipe it off on some tissue or something, and then you just flick the bristles to and fro quickly on the model. Say that's the model there, and I haven't got a brush to hand, but say this was a brush, dip it in the dry paint, wipe off as much paint as you can, and then just go backwards and forwards, and then the raised edges on the model will pick out the paint. Good for that. Washes literally wash over the model and go into all the recesses. Glazes tend to marry the colours together of what you've got. So if you've got like lots of different reds with different highlights in red or orange or something, if you put a red glaze over the top of that, it kind of marries it all in more into one, gives it one look. So that's what, therefore, edge paints are like really, really thin. You can get air paints as well by Citadel now for airbrushing. And you can still thin them down a little bit more with some airbrush thinner if you so require. The edge paints and the dry paints are more for doing like literally edge highlighting and all the fine, very fine details. So some people like to do it with dry brushing, it's easier. Some people like to just do it separately with the, by hand using the edge paints. So layer paints go over base paints rather nicely, you'll find. But yeah, they're all for different purposes. What I recommend you do is try and watch the video how to paint Citadel miniatures. It will explain it all there in a much more better way than I can do here. Question 2. I would like to start a YouTube channel of my own someday, but I do not have the confidence to talk or be on camera like you do. Could you offer any tips on this, please? Yes. Don't do the way I do it. Tips on. Okay, well, if you're starting out, you don't need to be in front of the camera. Some people don't even actually talk. If you're good at editing, you can put titles on the screens to music or whatever. Just film stuff. Then when you get more confident, you can do narration over the top of it, voiceovers. and then finally, you can be in front of the camera. For me myself, I just jumped straight in front of the camera day one because I thought, what the heck, people either watch me or they'll just hate what I do. Either way, I'm having fun, so just do it for you, man. Do it for you. Okay. Any other tips? Yeah, just get yourself a. You don't need top of the range equipment. Even start off with a webcam. That's how I started. Then get yourself a camcorder of some description and some editing software. Usually, a lot of laptops have it built in. Or Apple, you can get free ones which are quite good. And then if you want to be able to do more complex stuff, you pay for the update. But yeah. Okay, email me again. Let me know how you're getting on. Okay, next email says, "Hi Pete, hope you're doing well after moving into your new studio. Perhaps you will be all moved in by the time you read this. I want to ask though, you did a review on some models that you said you were sent by a Chinese model manufacturer. Yeah, I can't remember the name offhand. In brackets, I forget the name, so have I. Gotta say that I wouldn't want to use them myself. Not in brackets again, not very good quality. But I was wondering how it was that you ended up getting sent them. I wouldn't mind getting sent free stuff myself, no matter how bad it was. Haha, laughing face. Well, they approached me as a customer to see if I wanted to buy their models. I don't know where they got my email from. Well, they knew I was on YouTube, but so perhaps someone watched the YouTube. Maybe they thought I was bigger than I actually am. But they asked me if I wanted to put an order in for their models. So I emailed back and said, "Well, I don't know what you do. How about sending me a sample?" And there you go. They sent me a sample saying, "Yep, can you do a review on it?" And then they sort of pestered me afterwards to do the review. So I did it to the best of my ability. So that's that. Okay, on to the comments then, left from last week. Starting with JamJar34. He says, "Fantastic stuff. The dream is done. Can't wait for the videos and models coming out of the new studio. Totally awesome." You know it. Question is, what is your favourite rule from any game that you own? Any game that I own? Wow. I forgot that. Don't think I thought of a... Okay, off the top of my head, a game called Werewolf: The Apocalypse. And my favourite rule is that they regenerate. You get a certain number of, like in D&D, you have hit points. Or in Warhammer, you have wounds. In Werewolf, you have like injury points as to how badly wounded you are, or injured and incapacitated, and then there's different modifiers the more wounded you get. But my favourite rule in any game is the fact that werewolves get to regenerate heal 1 point per round, because they're basically like Wolverine. They heal really quickly, unless they're attacked with silver or something like that, and then they get what they call aggravated wounds, which doesn't heal quickly. But that's my favourite, the fact that the regeneration rule for a werewolf. So yeah. Alright, Big McDan Skull says, "Great to see the mini Warzone up and running. What's the first game you plan on playing in there?" Probably 40k. Yeah, 40k. Yeah, it's going to be 40k for sure. Okay. I'll shuffle the papers around now. I feel like a newsreader. Idic Beer says, "Good one, Pete. What is the biggest points game of 40k you have played, and what is your ideal points level to play?" Okay, my biggest points level. I think I played a game of 2,000 points once. Took too long, really. Mind you, that was back when I was starting out, so it took twice as long to play anyway. I like anywhere between 1,000 and 1,750 though, with 1,500 being my ideal, I suppose. The shorter ones kind of force more tactics upon you, especially in the meta game when you're choosing what to build your army, how you build it, or what type of units you're going to bring, and all that kind of thing. Yeah, so that's part of the game for me, is the army building. So I'd say 1500 would be my ideal points level to play. Warforge says, what is your top 5 all-time favourite films? Top 5. The classics, really, I suppose. Star Wars, New Hope, the original. Empire Strikes Back. Rocky, the first Rocky. Jaws, original Jaws movie. And Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring. Yeah, that's my top 5. Right, Spider666 says, hi Pete, loving the new look. So am I, my friend, so am I. I was asked this question in my last Q&A. I thought I'd ask you. Where do you stand on top 5 or top 10 games videos? Do you have any thoughts on doing one yourself? My top 10 games. Well, I've done top 10. I've done a couple of top 10 videos. One was games I'd like to get into, but I'm not currently, and I can't remember what the other was. But top 10 games, probably wouldn't do one because my mind changes a lot over time, and so if I did it, spent time doing it, a month later it could be totally different. Do you know what I mean? So, although my favourite game anyway is Warhammer, I don't think that's going to change. I don't think that will change at all. But obviously I love the other games too, but they, so the first one would always be Warhammer 40k, and the rest would change continuously, I think. Yeah, because there's a couple of board games that would be in there as well, and it would just change. So I probably won't do that, but I'm always trying to think of ideas for top 10 videos, because I quite like doing them. So I'll do another one sometime on something, I have no idea what. But yes, watch this space. Heresy Productions says, like the crisp blue background. Pete. Speaking of background, I heard you mention wanting to work with green screens. Yes, that is also on my radar. Anything in particular you're hoping to use it for? Cheers, Palmer. Not really, just want to try it out, see if it looks cool. See if I can find some funky backgrounds. Maybe a space background or something. Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I just want to try it, see if I can do it. But if I can, then I probably would use it in something. Maybe different battlefield zone backgrounds, or industrial, or zombie apocalypse or something. I don't know. Depends on what the videos I'm making. I would probably try and change it to suit the video or the series. That's just an idea at this stage. Okay, Crew Orange Lasilicus says, great new location for the P&Qs. Yes, although you might hear it's raining, and I certainly wouldn't want to be outside now. It's actually quite late at night, so it's more and more cosy in here now. My dog's, he came in with me. I don't know where he is at the moment. Oh, he's down by my feet. He wanted to come in out of the rain as well. So in the summer, of course, I would have the door open, windows open, and all sorts of stuff. So yeah. So great new location for the P&Qs and eventual hobby-related activities. Are you going to be filming / hosting games from your workshop? Yes, I am. When, I don't know, but yes, definitely. So watch out for that. And I'll let you know as soon as I can get some sort of order with that. Okay, Tattoo for You says, great video as always, brother. Wasn't expecting to hear my name. My daughter said I was famous. LOL. You are famous, sir. Tattoo for You. Tabletop Warzone. What would be the next scenery piece you would want to make? / no final, well, not slash, brackets, no financial restrictions. I love this series, mate. Keep up the great work. Enjoy the new studio. Okay. I want to make one. No financial restrictions. If I could make anything with no financial restrictions, it would be a massive Zone Mortalis board. Or a massive Space Hulk board. Yeah, Space Hulk board. Yeah, dedicated to that. And I'd have all sorts in there. And it'd be really, really good detail, finely detailed as well. I'd get like Forge World bits and bobs to put on the walls and computer console panels and all that kind of thing. Yeah, I could hook up some LED lights and get smoke machine effects as well, and glowing backgrounds and all that kind of stuff. That would be what I would make. No financial restrictions, but I'm not going to, for obvious reasons, because my restrictions are fairly restrictive. Okay, Southpaw Studios says, "Hey Pete, Sean from Southpaw Studios, just starting in wargaming. Starting an army of Necrons, what is the most points that you start with when you began gaming?" It was about 500 points. I was playing 500 point games. That's all I had. Had the starter box, which I think is 500 points. And just worked up from there, and I was doing 750. And I remember being chuffed when I got to my first 1,000 points army, and then doing that. So yeah, 500. Which is kind of more or less skirmish games in terms of Warhammer, but yeah. Cult of Wilf, and this is the last question. He says, I'm glad you are reporting from the new studio. How big is your new studio? How are you planning to seize the most out of your studio regarding space/room for all the miniatures, materials, terrain, and tools? Will you have a lot of separate shelves or mostly cabinets? Have fun and be well. Well, it's going to be a lot of racks. I've got a couple of racks. I've got one cabinet there. I'm going to be having another cabinet brought in. I've got cabinet type drawer type things. I'm going to be doing another video shortly, which will probably be up before this, so you'll probably will have seen. Just to show you around a little bit. It's I can't remember now. I think it's 5 meters by 3.5 or something like that. Something like that. Yeah. I'm not good with measurements, but I'll show you in the video. So, and there we are. That's it. That's all the questions this week. Keep them coming, guys. It's great to get your questions. I love it. Helps me get to know you, and you can hopefully get to know me, my quirks and my strangeness, and I can get to know your oddities and what you want to know and hear about. So, cup of tea, hang on. So yes, thank you very much for watching. And remember, all brushes lead to war.